Welcome to our journey into the world of species distribution models, or SDMs. Today, we'll explore the principles behind these models and their wide-ranging applications in ecology and conservation. Presented by Nuno Cesar de Sá and Rosaline March, with contributions from Niels Reyes and Leon Marshall, this session will guide you through the history, theory, and methodology of SDMs. By the end, you'll understand how these models help us predict where species live now, where they may have lived in the past, and where they might thrive in the future. Let's dive in and discover why SDMs are crucial tools for biodiversity research. Start with an overview of what's ahead. Our agenda covers the history, theory, principles, methodology, and applications of species distribution models. In the afternoon, we'll get hands-on by modeling the habitat suitability of a chosen species under both present and future climate conditions. This structure ensures a comprehensive understanding, blending foundational knowledge with practical experience. Whether you're new to SDMs or looking to deepen your expertise, this session is designed to build your skills step by step. Before we dive into the technicalities, let's address a fundamental concept: the ecological niche. The idea of a niche has sparked lively debates among ecologists, as reflected in witty poems and discussions. Is a niche a place, a role, or something more abstract? Understanding the niche is key to grasping how SDMs work, as these models are built on the relationships between species and their environment. This debate sets the stage for exploring how different scientists have defined and interpreted the niche over time. Joseph Grinnell was one of the first to formalize the concept of the ecological niche, viewing it primarily as a species habitat. In his 1917 paper, Grinnell described the niche relationships of the California thrasher, emphasizing how habitat shapes where a species can live. As the first director of the Museum of Vertebrate Zoology at Berkeley, Grinnell's work laid the groundwork for future ecological research. His perspective highlights the importance of physical space and environmental conditions in defining a species' niche. Building on Grinnell's ideas, Charles Elton introduced a different perspective. He defined the niche as the role a species plays within its ecosystem, akin to an occupation. Elton's approach shifted the focus from where a species lives to what it does, its interactions, behaviors, and functions in the environment. This broader view helped ecologists appreciate the complexity of species, relationships, and the dynamic nature of ecosystems. Species are uniquely adapted to the habitats they occupy. These adaptations determine where a species can survive and thrive, influencing its distribution across landscapes. By studying these adaptations, ecologists gain insights into the specific environmental conditions each species requires. This understanding is crucial for building accurate SDMs, as it helps identify the key factors that limit or enable a species' presence in a given area. Evelyn Hutchinson revolutionized the niche concept by introducing the idea of an n-dimensional hypervolume. In this framework, a species' niche is defined by multiple environmental conditions and resources, such as temperature, moisture, and food, that allow it to survive and reproduce. Hutchinson also distinguished between the fundamental and realized niche, concepts that remain central to modern ecology. His work earned him the title of Father of Modern Ecology and continues to influence how we model species distributions today. Hutchinsonian niche encompasses all the ways an organism uses biotic and abiotic resources in its environment. This includes space utilization, food consumption, temperature range, and moisture requirements. By considering these multiple dimensions, ecologists can better understand the complexity of species' ecological roles. This multidimensional approach forms the theoretical backbone of many SDMs, allowing for more nuanced predictions of species distribution. Let's break down the different types of niches. The fundamental niche is the full range of environmental conditions where a species can survive and reproduce. The potential niche is the part of the fundamental niche that actually exists in a given region and time. The realized niche is the portion of the potential niche that the species actually occupies, after accounting for competition and predation. Finally, the tolerance niche represents conditions where a species can survive but not necessarily thrive. Understanding these distinctions is vital for accurate species distribution modeling. In modeling species distributions, it's important to distinguish between environmental space and geographic space. Environmental space refers to the range of conditions, like temperature and moisture, where a species can potentially exist. Geographic space, on the other hand, is the actual physical area where these conditions occur. SDMs bridge these two concepts, helping us map where suitable habitats are located on the landscape. Species distributions are shaped by three main factors: abiotic conditions, biotic interactions, and movement. Abiotic factors include non-living elements like climate and soil. Biotic factors involve interactions with other organisms, such as competition and predation. Movement refers to a species' ability to disperse or colonize new areas. Together, these factors define the regions where a species can establish viable populations, and they are all considered an SDM. Actual area of distribution is where a species is currently found, while the potential area of distribution includes all places where suitable conditions exist. SDMs help us estimate both, providing valuable insights for conservation planning. By comparing actual and potential distributions, we can identify gaps, assess risks, and prioritize areas for protection or restoration. Observing where a species is present or absent is fundamental to building SDMs. Presence data tells us where the species currently exists, while absence data helps define the boundaries of its distribution. By carefully collecting and analyzing these observations, we can create more accurate models and better understand the factors shaping species ranges. SDM's presence data indicates where a species is observed, while absence data marks locations where it is not found. Sometimes we use pseudo-absence data, areas where the species probably doesn't occur, to improve model reliability. Background data, which samples the environment more broadly, can also be used. These different types of data help refine our models and reduce uncertainty. Niche theory provides the foundation for species distribution modeling. SDMs use statistical relationship between species occurrences and environmental predictors to estimate where suitable habitats exist. It's important to remember that SDMs model the distribution of suitable environments, not the species themselves. This distinction helps us interpret model results more accurately and apply them effectively in conservation and management. Species distribution models go by many names, including ecological niche modeling, habitat suitability modeling, environmental niche modeling, and climate envelope modeling. Despite the different terminology, these approaches share a common goal: predicting where species are likely to occur based on environmental data. Understanding these synonyms helps you navigate the literature and recognize the broad applicability of SDMs. Build effective SDMs, you need three main ingredients: species occurrence records, environmental data, and computing power. Occurrence records provide the locations where species have been observed. Environmental data includes variables like temperature, precipitation, and land cover. Finally, computing power allows us to process large datasets and run complex algorithms, making modern SDMs more powerful than ever. How do we model species distributions? SDMs help us answer critical questions. Where is a species' suitable habitat? Where was it in the past? Where might it be in the future? How quickly will habitats change? Experimental data on species' environmental tolerances is often hard to obtain, but SDMs leverage vast biodiversity collections and environmental datasets to fill these gaps. This makes them invaluable for research, conservation, and policymaking. SDMs are built using a group of algorithms that estimate the spatial and sometimes temporal distribution of species. There are two main types: correlative or empirical models and mechanistic models. Correlative models rely on observed relationships between species and their environments, while mechanistic models use biological and physiological data to predict distribution. Both approaches have strengths and limitations, and the choice depends on the research question and available data. Relative models, such as those based on Hutchinson's niche theory, use statistical relationships between species occurrences and environmental variables. Mechanistic models, on the other hand, incorporate detailed knowledge of species, biology, and physiology to simulate how they respond to environmental changes. Both types of models are valuable, and sometimes they are used together to improve predictions and address complex ecological questions. Let's look at a real-world example. Researchers used a spatially explicit dynamic modeling framework to assess habitat suitability for the endangered red-billed chough under changing land use scenarios in Portugal. By integrating SDMs with land use data, they could predict how future changes might impact the species. Such case studies highlight the practical value of SDMs in conservation planning and decision-making. Citizen science data can play a crucial role in SDMs. For example, a study in Portugal used citizen-reported observations to guide surveillance of invasive acacia trees. By combining public data with modeling techniques, researchers improved their ability to monitor and manage invasive species. This approach demonstrates how community involvement can enhance scientific research and conservation outcomes. SDM process involves several key steps: collecting species occurrence data, gathering environmental data, selecting an appropriate algorithm, and evaluating model performance. It's important to remember the principle of garbage in, garbage out. The quality of your input data directly affects the reliability of your results. Iterative refinement and validation are essential to building robust models. Building SDMs comes with several challenges. Issues like autocorrelation, spatial resolution, model selection, and data needs can affect model accuracy. Overfitting and underfitting are common pitfalls, as is sampling bias. Ecological significance must always be considered, and there's currently no unified niche theory to guide every situation. Recognizing and addressing these challenges is key to producing meaningful results. Let's clarify some key terms. Presence data marks where a species is found, while absence data shows where it is not. Pseudo-absence data are locations where the species probably doesn't occur, and background data samples the environment more broadly. These definitions help structure the data used in SDMs and ensure consistency in model development. What makes for good presence and absence data? Good presences are easy to define. If you see the species, it's there. Objectively, they should fall within the realized niche and represent the entire niche space. However, sampling bias can affect data quality, especially for rare species. Careful data collection and validation are essential for building reliable SDMs. Of course, there are always exceptions. Some species are difficult to detect, leading to underreporting of presences. Others may be misidentified, resulting in false positives. These challenges highlight the importance of rigorous data collection protocols and the use of multiple data sources to cross-validate observations. SDMs operate across different spatial and temporal scales. The choice of scale affects which processes dominate and how well the model captures reality. Fine-scale models may reveal detailed habitat preferences, while broad-scale models are better for regional planning. Selecting the appropriate scale is a critical step in SDM development. Choosing the right model and validating its performance are essential for reliable SDMs. Model selection involves comparing different algorithms and assessing their fit to the data. Validation uses independent data or cross-validation techniques to test how well the model predicts new observations. This process helps ensure that the model's predictions are robust and trustworthy. Sampling bias occurs when some areas are surveyed more intensively than others, leading to uneven data. This can skew model results and reduce their reliability. Accounting for sampling effort and correcting for bias are important steps in SDM development. Techniques like spatial filtering and bias correction can help address these issues. Beyond statistical accuracy, SDMs must have ecological significance. This means the model's predictions should make sense in light of what we know about the species and its environment. Collaborating with field ecologists and using expert knowledge can help ensure that models are both scientifically sound and practically useful. One challenge in SDM development is the lack of a unified niche theory. Different species and ecosystems may require different modeling approaches, and no single theory fits all cases. This diversity calls for flexibility and creativity in model design, as well as ongoing research to refine our understanding of ecological niches. High-quality data are the backbone of effective SDMs. This includes accurate species occurrence records, detailed environmental variables, and metadata on sampling methods. Data gaps or errors can undermine model reliability, so investing in data collection and management is essential for successful modeling projects. Logic and approach behind SDMs should be transparent and well documented. This includes clearly stating assumptions, justifying methodological choices, and explaining how results will be interpreted. Transparency builds trust in the model's predictions and facilitates collaboration among researchers and stakeholders. Overfitting occurs when a model is too complex and captures noise instead of true patterns, while underfitting happens when a model is too simple to capture important relationships. Both issues can reduce predictive accuracy. Balancing model complexity and simplicity is a key challenge in SDM development. Spatial autocorrelation refers to the tendency of nearby locations to have similar values. Ignoring this can lead to inflated model accuracy and misleading results. Techniques like spatial filtering and using appropriate statistical methods can help address spatial autocorrelation in SDMs. Ecological dimension of SDMs involve understanding how different processes operate at various scales and contexts. No single model can capture all ecological complexities, so it's important to tailor models to specific questions and systems. This approach ensures that SDMs remain relevant and useful for real-world applications. SDM development is an iterative process. Models are refined and improved as new data become available and as our understanding of species and environments evolves. Regular updates and validation help ensure that models remain accurate and relevant over time. SDMs have a wide range of practical applications. They are used to guide conservation planning, assess the impacts of climate change, manage invasive species, and inform policy decisions. By predicting where species are likely to occur, SDMs help prioritize areas for protection and restoration, making them invaluable tools for biodiversity management. In conservation, SDMs help identify critical habitats, forecast species responses to environmental changes, and design effective management strategies. By integrating SDMs with field surveys and expert knowledge, conservationists can make more informed decisions and allocate resources more efficiently. SDMs are powerful tools for assessing the impacts of climate change on species distributions. By modeling how suitable habitats shift under different climate scenarios, researchers can anticipate potential range expansions or contractions and develop proactive conservation plans. SDMs are also used to predict the spread of invasive species. By identifying areas with suitable conditions for invasion, managers can target surveillance and control efforts more effectively. This helps prevent ecological and economic damage caused by invasive species. Policymakers use SDMs to inform land use planning, environmental impact assessments, and biodiversity strategies. By providing evidence-based predictions, SDMs support more sustainable and effective policy decisions at local, regional, and global scales. Field of species distribution modeling is rapidly evolving. Advances in data collection, computational methods, and ecological theory are opening new possibilities for more accurate and dynamic models. Integrating SDMs with remote sensing, genomics, and citizen science will further enhance their power and utility in the years ahead. Sum up: species distribution models are essential tools for understanding and managing biodiversity. They combine ecological theory, statistical modeling, and real-world data to predict where species are likely to occur. While challenges remain, ongoing research and innovation continue to improve their accuracy and relevance. Whether you're a researcher, conservationist, or policymaker, mastering SDMs will empower you to make a positive impact on the natural world.